Okay, it's time for an oil change on my 2009 Mini Cooper, hatchback base model, non-turbo. So I picked up a K&N oil filter. Comes with a gasket and oil plug, O-ring. And what else I picked up, which already has an O-ring, is I picked up a new oil plug, and this one's actually magnetic. Let's see if I can, it's a magnetic oil plug. So it looks like this, and it has a little magnet on the end, because I think some transmissions have the same thing. It has little magnets, so it'll pick up any little metal particles. So when you change the oil, take out the plug, you just wipe off and see if there's any metal particles in there. So I'll go ahead and put this in too. Okay, there's the oil filter. It's a cap, take off. There's it uses a 27mm socket that goes on the end, or if you don't have metric, it will fit a 1 1/16 socket too. So 27, one 1/16. Okay, to drain the oil, you see that it doesn't use a nut. It uses actually a hex. What I'm using is a 5/16, but I'm guessing that's actually metric. So we'll convert 5/16 to metric around. And obviously I don't have a socket set with hexes on it, so I had to use this and an extension, and basically to give me the leverage, I put the had that in there. Then I put the extension on the end just to give me leverage to break the seal. So let's go ahead and drain the oil. So we're draining the oil. Compared to other cars where the oil plug is actually on the side of the pan, this one's on the bottom. Good things and bad things. Good thing is it drains straight out and doesn't make a sideways stream. But the bad thing is, as you're screwing it out, you get oil over your hands. So a good rule is to go ahead and wear rubber gloves. Okay, here's the new plug, magnetic, has a new washer, and it actually uses a 15mm socket. So I'll use that, go ahead and put that on. Okay, there's the new plug on the oil pan, and wiped it down. It's kind of a messy job because the way it drips, it gets all over the bottom of the pan. So go ahead and clean that off, and that looks nice. So I'll go ahead and do the oil filter. So if you're used to changing oil filters, it's a little different than most cars. It's actually a cartridge with a cap, and you gotta change the O-ring and put in a new cartridge. Okay, here's the new filter, new O-ring. Put a little bit of oil on the O-ring so it slides on good. And actually, when you put the filter in, you gotta push down till it this one you gotta push down until it clicks in, basically. You basically know when it's in is when you turn it over, it doesn't fall out. So go ahead and install this back on the car. Okay, filter is back on, hand tightened, and this is one of those cases where when you pull out the oil filter, which I hate, is all the oil just dumps out of the oil filter onto your engine. So probably next time I change it, I'm going to actually stick some rags underneath it before taking it off. A couple of rags, so that way when I remove the oil filter, it actually the rags will soak up some of the oil instead of getting all over the engine and transmission, basically. So I gotta go underneath and wipe up the oil, or just drive it around and let it burn off. So they recommend 5W30 for this car. So actually I have high mileage because I have over 108,000 miles on here. So using Mobil 1 synthetic, 5W30, and go ahead and fill it up. So we're going to check the oil level. I put almost all, except for a little bit, and we're good. We're right underneath that first hump on the left. If you saw my other video when I changed the valve cover gasket, so since I've been driving it for about a week, so just checking around to make sure no leaks in the valve cover. So that looks good. So I'm happy with that job when I changed out the valve cover. So that kind of explains when I went down underneath to clean up the oil, that why they when I was underneath changing the O2 sensor, the video on changing the O2 sensor, why there was so much oil underneath the engine. First I thought maybe something was leaking, but basically the previous owner, he took it to places to get oil changes, and basically it drips all over the engine, and those people don't clean it up, so underneath the engine was crusted with old oil. So I had to wipe that down and get all that old oil off too. So good luck oil changing, and save some money.